everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into the Vibrant Health Podcast, hosted by myself, Jessica Espinoza, and my friend and colleague, Lydia Shatney. I am a wellness coach and educator whose main goal is to help inspire you to live your most vibrant life. You can find me writing about all things health and wellness over at deliciousobsessions.com and jessicaespinoza.com. Lydia is a nutritional therapist and founder of the Divine Health from the InsideOut.com website, where she works with clients all over the country and helps them improve and regain their health using nutritional and mineral balancing protocols. We are so excited that you're taking time out of your day to tune in. But before we get started, since this is a health-related podcast, it should be noted that we are not licensed medical professionals. The information and advice provided in this podcast is not intended to diagnose, treat, or prescribe for any illness or health issue and should not be construed as medical advice. You should always consult with your medical practitioner before making any changes to your diet, supplementation, medication, or lifestyle. Now, on to today's episode. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get this show started. Hey everyone, welcome to episode number 41 of the Vibrant Health Podcast. I am Jessica Espinoza from deliciousobsessions.com and jessicaespinoza.com, and I'm here with my co-host, Lydia Shatney from Divine Health from the InsideOut.com. And today is going to be a pretty casual episode. We have an announcement to make, a couple of announcements, and we're just going to keep it really, really smooth and casual. So, hey Lydia, how are you doing today?
Announcements. What, you remember that? What's that from?
No.
Hey,
I have to say you have far too much energy today. It's a Friday.
Oh, I'm in a silly mood. I probably even sang it in the wrong tune, so I apologize there. But, yeah, so hey, everyone, thank you so much for stopping by. If you're wanting to have a lighthearted moment, you're coming to the right place at the right time. We are just kind of reflecting here today on this whole time we've been doing this podcast and about to have a little transition. And we're going to kind of share a little bit about that as well as what we're both up to. And hopefully we will leave you with some words of wisdom at the end.
Hopefully. Awesome. So I guess we could just dive into like the first announcement. So I have decided that I am going to be stepping away from the podcast. It was not an easy decision for me to make, but I really have spent a lot of time this summer and early fall kind of assessing where my energy and my time is being spent, and I've had some new personal challenges come up as well that's kind of requiring a lot of focus. So I was just kind of forced to reassess everything that was on my plate and make some changes, and I've had to let some projects go, even projects that I really love doing, but I'm just finding that, you know, there's only a limited amount of hours in the day, and I've only got a limited amount of energy. So I have decided that I'm going to step away from the podcast, which was very bittersweet for me. I think it's great that I've gotten to a point. This type A overachiever, for those of you that have known me for a long time, or maybe even since childhood, you know that I typically pile my plate much higher than I am capable of managing. So the fact that I've even gotten to the point of being able to recognize when I'm being stretched to my limits and when I need to step back and really be protective of my time and energy, that's a really huge accomplishment for me. So so that was definitely the sweetness that came out of this whole process. But I am sad to be leaving the podcast. It was really fun. Lydia and I have been, you know, friends for a long time, and it was really fun to have a special project with her that was just, you know, her and I's special little thing. So I'm a little bummed about that. But I know that there'll be opportunities for the two of us to work together in the future. So that's all good. So yeah, so this will be the last episode that you hear me on. But Lydia is going to carry on with the Vibrant Health Podcast, and you can expect tons more awesome stuff from her. So, yeah.
It's not like we're breaking up.
No, I know, but it still hurts my heart a little bit.
Well, it is, it's good because, you're following your gut and you're really honoring yourself, and it's, good to see that and be able to feel comfortable sharing that with everyone. And I just think, it's great. You're moving in a different direction and you're honoring your path, and this is good. It's a good thing. And we've had some fun over the years, and we hope that folks have been able, well, it hasn't even been really years, kind of like a year and a half-ish, right?
Yeah, about a year and a half.
Yeah, so hopefully folks will check out the old episodes because they're still really awesome. And Jessica brought a lot to the table in terms of, words of wisdom and content, and so definitely check those out. But today we just want to kind of leave with some parting words and kind of share this transition piece with you. I am planning to keep the podcast going. I feel very at ease talking about anything related to our overall health, and it's just easy for me to do it, and I enjoy it, and I feel like I want to be able to kind of hopefully maybe even get the word out there more and let this podcast grow and reach more people. So I'm not going anywhere. I actually have some things coming up for the remainder of the year, and looking to expand in the new year. So I'm still excited about, sharing all about vibrant health, and we're going to try to make sure we cover every angle, not just nerdy facts, but we really want to get into more personal growth and development and mindset and everything like that. So it's going to be a fun ride forward, I hope.
Maybe you can, maybe I can come back on the show and you can interview me. Because
yeah, you can be
some people know that I'm actually going to be going back to school in 2017. That's actually another main reason that I had to step away from this. I'm really trying to consolidate my work stuff and kind of pare back a little bit in preparation for going back to school, because that's going to be a big time commitment and energy commitment for me too. So I'm hoping to enroll after the first of the year. I'm going to be going to the Institute for the Psychology of Eating. They're actually here in Boulder, but it's all done online. But I'm really excited. This is kind of where my heart is calling me, this kind of work. And so I've had my challenges with body image and disordered eating and things like that, and I really have been working hard on those and exploring and doing lots of personal development, and I'm just really excited to help other women who, are struggling or have struggled with the things that I've struggled with. So yeah, maybe I'll be back as a guest at some point in the future, but
always,
yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, and it's really interesting to have watched you evolve over the years and to see you kind of choosing that path and really tapping into, more of a, not just action-oriented health, but more of a whole body, piece. And I think it's really needed, and really your voice in that kind of area, that niche, is going to be important, and I've already seen you stepping out in that way. So hopefully folks will be looking forward to that, and our culture is definitely crying out for some mindset shifts in that one, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I feel like for me, the nutrition, the supplement plans, the lifestyle stuff as far as focusing on sleep and mindful movement and all of that, that was all relatively easy for me. It made a lot of sense. It was just, it was almost like a task list. This is your to-do list, and you just do these things, and your health will improve. And it did, but I found myself constantly running into kind of mental hurdles, and I wasn't even realizing how much my mental health was impacting my physical health. So I kind of got to this point where I was just like, okay, there has to be something deeper, something more than just doing, the nutrition and the sleep and all of that stuff. And so I kind of started exploring that work, and I was just like, it just like sucked me in, and I was, I knew that's where I needed to go. So it was awesome to have that feeling, because it's been a really long time since I've had that, like, really clear, this is what I want to do, and this is where I feel like I'm being called. I've kind of been in limbo for the last couple of years, and so it's really nice to finally get some clarity.
Yeah, totally.
So,
totally.
Yeah.
It's like mind over matter, we really do have a lot of control over our life when we think, we can think a certain way. We can think, oh, everything's negative. Oh, I'm stressed. Oh, I don't have any time. Oh, this isn't going to happen for me, or, oh, my health is terrible and I'm not getting any better. And, when we focus on the negative and we don't stop and pause and think of, what is good and what we can have and what we believe we can have and what we want, when we really shift our focus and our mindset, it really makes a huge difference, and it can impact even our very health, even our very physical symptoms, can dissipate to a degree when we shift our minds in a positive direction. So it's really cool that we've tackled that psalm in the podcast, and I feel more geared towards that in the future, and you're kind of looking at this whole new path with the schooling you're looking to do. So, it's definitely a piece I see even in my practice with folks who are just struggling. They're just struggling, and they're just, what's wrong with me? Like, why can't I get rid of this pudgy belly, or why am I so chronically tired, or why is every time I test I feel like I'm getting worse, or, but the mindset that's there is kind of, part of the problem, and sometimes it's not something that we really think about or put as a priority. And so I feel personally too, like I'm kind of going through like this evolution right now in my life. Like I'm just kind of going through this radical shift. And I posted just the other day on Facebook about, this kind of crazy experience I shouldn't say it's crazy. It's really cool. It's really awesome, where I cultivated this habit of gratitude. And I just started like really trying to focus on what I was grateful for, and even publicly expressing it as often as I thought to. And it just lit me up. It just made me feel like, gosh, life is really good. Like, forget all the things that are stupid and annoying and, a problem. There's so much beauty in my life, and I've come so far, and I just want to, like, hold on to that, and as I was doing this, it just kind of really lit me up and excited me. I started naturally just, like, falling into better habits because I was just happier, and I created a vision board. It's funny because I had for years, like I went to NTA back in 2011, 2012, and at the very end of our training, they recommended we do a vision board. And I was like, oh, yes, I'm totally doing that. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. I totally believe in this. Yes. And I bought the stupid bulletin board, and there it's at for years. And I kept thinking, I got to do my vision board. And I even envisioned my vision board. I just didn't actually create the vision board. And so over the summer, I was like talking about it with some people, and somebody said, hey, I just do it on Pinterest. I'm like, that's it. I can do that in 2 seconds flat. And so I was like, dude, I'm on it like white on rice. I went, I made this vision board. I started putting everything that I was like wanting just to fill my life with, just even simple things like pictures of hiking and, trips I want to do, and simple things I want. And the the emotional, psychological things that I wanted in relationship, and, things I want to do with my kids, and just all these things that were kind of bursting out of me at the time. And so I put them all on there, and I would look at the board, not every day, but, several times a week I would be like, oh, yeah, I want to go look at my board. Maybe I want to add something, or maybe I just want to, like, re-look at it and, like, kind of sit there with it and think about it. And over time, I just started to notice, like, oh, my gosh, I just got that. Like, that happened. I'm like, oh, yeah, and I just did that, too, and I just got this, and this, and before you know it, like, a huge chunk of my board was, like, had happened or is happening or was in the works.
Yay!
And
That's great.
I was just, like, marveling over, like, this power of intention and this power of just really putting out there what it is you are looking to do. So even in the spoken word, or just kind of focusing on your intentions, what it is you want in life, what you're looking towards, and then just remembering that. And it kind of just empowers you to just actually kind of maybe take some actions towards it, because we really do have a lot more control over our lives than we think. And I don't mean control like I'm going to control everything that happens. It's not like that. Just more, we aren't left to just chance, So I've been really just blown away by, and then too, that's just kind of overflowed into my health. Like I just have noticed some things not being as big of a problem. I kind of naturally do certain habits that were a struggle for me for a while. I got back into way more dedicated, fitness plan, which I was like dragging my anchor in the summer for like 6 weeks. I was like, who cares? I just had this crappy attitude, and I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't good. I don't like this. But I couldn't kind of get myself out of it. And so anyway, just kind of this transition really made a huge impact and huge difference for me. And I think a lot of times we get so razor focused on like, okay, I can control what I eat, so I'm going to eat perfectly, or whatever, whatever the action we think that we need to do to get healthy. And we get a little kind of maybe stuck in a rut and not realizing that what we're thinking and how we're perceiving, moving towards health can be holding us back in some ways. So I just think it's really awesome to be able to, I think both of us are kind of moving more towards this deeper level of, empowering ourselves so we can empower others to tap into deeper levels of their own vibrant health.
Yep. I totally agree. And actually, I'm going to do the Pinterest vision board too, because I've had make a vision board on my to-do list for like years. And I used to actually do vision boarding a lot, and then I don't know why I stopped doing it. But I like the Pinterest idea, because I think the thing that was holding me back is like, I have to go like hunt down all these photos, and then I have to either like print them out, or I need to go buy magazines or whatever, and I just don't want to do any of that. But I love the Pinterest idea, because how simple is that? So I'm totally going to do that this weekend. So yes, thank you for that inspiration.
And it's so fun. And so now, like, I've gotten so many of the things on my board already, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to go put more stuff on there, like this is working. I'm gonna keep up with this flow here, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to sit down with the boys and, like, make one for them and like, try to, make this, like, a family kind of ordeal. So it's a lot of fun. And so I guess if anything, I just want to encourage people to try that. In fact, that was one of my homework assignments for a client recently, because I just was noticing just this down kind of, bummed, kind of vibe from her. And I said, hey, listen, I got something I want you to try. And, I think that if you can try to get into this and start to, like, get excited about what it is you really want to do. And, I think sometimes we think we have to be dutiful. And we're not allowed to have fun. And I don't know where the heck that came from, but I think we need to, like, kick that crap to the curb and really realize, like, when we really do dive into fun and pleasure and joy, I'm telling you, like, the crap that I hate doing, the stuff that makes me feel like, oh, I got to wash the dishes, oh, I got to do the laundry, I just do it. I don't even think about it anymore because I'm like, well, I want this, so I got to get all this other stuff out of the way, and then this is going to be more pleasurable. Do you know what I mean? So I just feel like sometimes we culturally are like, you know, we have to work, we have to be dutiful, we can't put our pleasure first because for some reason that if we do, you know, we're going to neglect some important area of our life. And I just don't see that to be fully true. I think it can be a great way to help ourselves balance and just have more joy, you know. And I think joy can be so foundational to just everything we do in life, you know. And so anyway, so that's a good activity for folks to try. You know, and it can be, if you don't have Pinterest, you know, I mean, you can still do a traditional board where you go and get a bulletin board or even a piece of poster board or whatever, and just, if you do have a bunch of magazines lying around, cut out stuff, or even, I don't know, go on the internet and print out stuff.
Yeah, one thing that one of my friends did was she just found photos and stuff online that she liked and that, you know, whatever fit into what her vision was. And she downloaded them to her computer and then created some sort of slideshow. I'm not exactly sure how you would do it, but I think there's some like automatic program that you can create a slideshow somehow on your computer. So you could do it that way. And she said that she even put like one of her like most favorite inspiring songs on there too. So like every morning she said she would get up and she would watch that video and she would get super pumped up for the day. And I think just really, like, this is the reason that I'm stepping away from the podcast is because I started getting really, really clear on what I wanted and where I needed to be spending my time. And I think the more clarity that we can develop in our lives about what we want, where we want to go, how we want to feel every day, who we want to serve, how we want to show up for our friends and our family, the more clarity we get, the happier and more joyful our lives are going to be. Even when there's bad stuff that happens, and there's always going to be bad stuff that happens, but you're just going to be able to handle that stuff as it comes up just a lot better because you're coming from a more clear place, a more positive, uplifted place. And it's like any other thing, it takes practice. I've always been kind of a glass half full person, and so I've definitely struggled with really mild depression a lot over the years. And so it feels really unnatural, like you almost have to like fake it till you make it, like fake happiness until you make it. But it's really like it can be done, and you can just start shifting those patterns, those mindset patterns and thought patterns that are bringing us down, and start navigating them in a different direction. And it, you know, you can make some pretty significant changes. It comes back to mind. Everything is mindset. Truly, every single thing is mindset. So,
yeah.
Huge.
Yeah, so I want to share, and this, you know, look, some people don't like certain language, but I'm just going to get really honest here. There's a book I'm reading, and it's flipping awesome. I might have wanted to say a different word there. But it's called You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero.
I'm reading that book too.
Right now?
Yes.
Oh my God.
How funny. Yes, it's great.
Okay, well then it was meant to be because I just figured out like this whole Audible thing recently, and I'm loving it. So I got Audible. I'm like, okay, I can do 2 books a month on Audible when I do my walks, right? So I was listening to some books and, you know, everything. And then somebody said something about this book, and I'm like, ooh, that sounds awesome. I'm going to get that. Love it. Like everything she says resonates to my core. And I'm like, I could have written this book. Like, I love this. This chick is great. And so, yeah, she uses language and everything. But, you know, it's just like so spot on. and so many great nuggets of gold and so much cool, like, stuff about gratitude and forgiveness, and it's just really very empowering. So I leave you guys with that, and it's obvious that it was meant to be because Jessica's listening. We didn't even know that each other was reading the same book. So definitely check that book out if you are looking to kind of tap into, like, some inner working stuff, some mindset stuff, because it's really very empowering. I'm enjoying listening to it, but I also have the hard copy too because I'm like, I can't write everything down. Like, I want to quote so much. So yeah, so that's a good one. It's a really great. I'll probably revisit it for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, how funny. Yeah, it's a great book. It's I have a ton of books sitting on my shelf here that I'm working my way through. A lot of, I'd say like 90% of it is mindset stuff. So yeah, this has been this last year has been the biggest year in personal development for me ever, and that's what it took for me to get really clear about what I wanted, is taking the risk to dive deep into some really uncomfortable areas that some of the stuff I've worked through has been painful and really uncomfortable and makes me want to run away from it sometimes. But, you know, you sometimes have to go through some pain before you can have some clarity and some healing that you need. So,
yeah, and sometimes the pain is in our head. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we think it's going to be hard because we just don't know. Like, we just don't know how to change. But when you just start to take the steps forward and you feel the benefit, it's like, oh my gosh, wait, I want to do this more. Wow, that wasn't so bad. I thought it was going to be horrible, but it wasn't so bad. And, you know, it's like, wait a minute, why was I holding myself back? You know, we just did that podcast. Who's stopping you? And I think that is a big piece of it too. So,
absolutely. Yeah, that was episode number 40. If you haven't listened to that one, that is a must listen to. So,
yeah, definitely. Cool. Well,
awesome.
I have had a lot of fun with you, and I, you know, wish you all the best on your future schooling and endeavors, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you bring to the world down the road. And I know you're working on some really cool stuff right now too. Do you want to, like, share what you're doing right now? Because I don't think you brought that up.
No, not really. So yeah, right now actually about 90% of my time, 95% of my time is focused on 20 Dishes. That's my other site that I co-founded with a couple of other people. And so this year we rolled out a nationwide kitchen advisor program because we have the goal that we want to change 1 million lives through real food. And we realized that there was only 3 of us, and while the internet is fantastic and we can reach a lot of people, I don't think we can get to our 1 million without the help of other people. So our Kitchen Advisor program is essentially, it's almost like having a little private cooking lesson. So 20 Dishes, we have meal plans, you know, so it's a membership site, so you get your weekly meal plan, you get your shopping lists. We've got over 700 recipes right now. We're going to have probably well over 1,000 by the end of the year. But we have a secret sauce. So like meal plans are all fantastic and everything, but sometimes it's difficult to actually get them from paper to plate in what amount of time you have allotted. So, you know, people are just busy. So we actually have a special little secret sauce that we use. It's called our Easy Prep Guide, and we actually teach you how to get your meals done. Most people can prepare a whole week's worth of dinners in an hour or less. So you could just, you know, Sunday you could do all of your prep and have all of your dinners ready to just be tossed in the frying pan or tossed in the oven, really minimizing the amount of time that you have to cook throughout the week. And we keep our recipes really simple, a lot of one-pot meals. We're actually rolling out an Instant Pot category and a new Instant Pot ebook in November. So we're really focused on time saving, since, you know, time is a very precious asset and we can't ever get it back. So The Kitchen Advisor program, they're going to be working in their local communities, either with just family and friends or through their churches. We've got some people who are working with their local schools and stuff, and they're essentially demonstrating the 20 Dishes system and showing people how easy it is with our system to be able to still eat healthy and not have to slave away in the kitchen for hours and hours every week. So we've got kitchen advisors in different areas of the country who are working in their communities and really helping bring about change. And we've got a lot of really bad statistics when it comes to health. And, most chronic illnesses can be tied back to nutrition, diet, and lifestyle in some way. So if we can change, show people that eating healthy doesn't have to be super time-consuming and that everybody can do it, then we can really maybe start making some shifts. I mean, this is the first time in history that our children are not expected to live as long as us. Our kids are going to die before their parents. And that's the first time in history this has ever happened. So something has to change. So 20 Dishes, we're working really hard to be a small part of that change and really try to help save some lives ultimately. That's our goal. So so that's taking up a ton of my time right now, and then going back to school and everything, that's going to be like my 2 full-time jobs right there. So
wow. Do you guys hear how passionate she is about this? So, and I think it's cool, and I haven't, figured this out. It's funny because you're saying, menu plans are great and all, and I agree. I really think it's important, but I do menu plans, but I half the time, I'm like, crap, that's not going to fit, so I morph it into something else, and I think some people are, maybe it's a good starting point for some people because they're just they're just not even remotely trying to plan, and they're spending way too much money, and they're eating food that they know isn't as ideal. But I like the idea of just trying to make it more realistic and tap into simple cooking, because honestly, it's funny, when I actually talk to more and more people, we're really collectively at this place of people just don't know how to cook. They just don't. They don't even know how to think for themselves when it comes to cooking. And you and I, we talked about this before. We're both just really creative and intuitive about cooking, but the basics we're talking, and it's just cultural. It's just a cultural place that we're at. And so I just think it's really neat. I can't wait to see, kind of how this goes, because I think more people are really wanting to get back into learning this skill. And so it's going to be interesting to see how this shapes up.
Yeah, we're really excited because, yes, that's, another huge motivation is that we've got, at least one generation, if not 2 generations of people who don't even know how to do the basics of, some people say, I can't even boil water. That's literally true for some people. And, that's why, our kitchen advisors, like I said, it was like having a little mini cooking class. You're teaching skills to people in our live workshops that our advisors do that literally can be passed down from generation to generation. And we're a big advocate of getting the kids involved in the food and the food prep, if at all possible, and really giving them those skills to where they can improve their health, and then they've got skills to pass down to their kids as well. So, and cooking lessons are expensive. Some people want cooking lessons, and they can be really, really pricey. So it's kind of like a little mashup of all of it. We're really excited to see where 2017 takes that business. We're super passionate.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yay.
Awesome.
Yeah. Good.
Well, I am grateful for you, my friend, and for the time we've had to do this podcast together, and I just wish you all the best with your endeavors and changing the world, girl.
Ditto. I feel the exact same. Thank you so much for the opportunity to work with you on this, and I know we'll have opportunities to work together in the future on something at some point. So this is not goodbye.
Of course
Though
not.
I see you every day on Facebook, all day, so you can't escape me.
That's right. Awesome. Awesome.
All right. Well, I think we will wrap up the show, and thank you everyone for listening to all of the episodes up until this point, and I'm going to miss everybody, but I'm sure Lydia is going to blow our minds with all of our future episodes, so definitely make sure you stay tuned for those. So
stick around. I got some good stuff coming up.
Yay. All right. Well, I'm going to sign off for now, and I'm sure I'll talk to you guys again soon.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone. Take care.
Thank you so much for listening to the Vibrant Health Podcast. We really appreciate you taking time out of your day to listen to the information we're sharing. If this information resonated with you and you know others who could benefit from it, we would love it if you'd share it with them. We'd also be very appreciative if you could leave us a review on iTunes or Stitcher. If you're on our sites or YouTube listening to this, we'll have links down below where you can leave a review. If you're on your phone listening through the app, you can also leave a review directly through the app. It only takes about a minute, super fast, super easy, and your shares and reviews help us reach more people with our message of health and wellness, so we really, really appreciate your support. If you're looking for more information on health and wellness in general, both Lydia and I have a ton of information on our sites. You can find me over at jessicaespinoza.com, which is my main practice website and where I offer my 21-day sugar detox coaching, and in the future I'm going to be offering nutritional therapy coaching as well. You can also find me on deliciousobsessions.com, which is my main real food and natural living website. You can find Lydia over at divinehealthfromtheinsideout.com, where she offers nutritional therapy consultations and hair tissue mineral analysis services for those who are ready to take their health to the next level. Lastly, if you have any suggestions for topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes, we would absolutely love to hear from you. We want these podcasts to be as informational and inspirational as possible, and we'd love to hear from you and understand exactly what you would like us to cover. You can email us or leave a comment below, or even give us a shout out on social media. We both look forward to serving you and inspiring you to live the healthiest, happiest lives possible. Thanks for listening.